Hello, everyone. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from King Karan. In crypto, you can make in 1 year what someone normally has to work their whole life for. Lock in. And that's 100% true. I always tell you, Bitcoin is the last hope for the working person to get financial freedom. You could literally come into this space, invest a little bit of money week over week, and walk away with financial freedom. Quit your 9-to-5 job. Crypto is the last opportunity to do that, and that window is closing. You got to be in before the institutions get here. Brad Garlinghouse at Fortune, a wire transfer. Take a listen to this.
Just how are you looking at that?
Yeah, so the SWIFT network, I mean, I imagine everyone here at some point in your lives has done a SWIFT-enabled transaction. You call it a wire transfer. One little side note, the expression wire transfer, the etymology of that is a telegram wire.
That's right.
It's this is not technology that has moved with the internet and advancement of these technologies. I mean, do we compete with SWIFT? Yes. There are a lot of payment networks out there. And when I think about at the core what Ripple's trying to do, we're trying to let value move the way information moves today.
And that's why Ripple doesn't need Swift. Swift actually needs Ripple. Everybody always says, well, Swift has 11,000 customers. Yeah, but talk to those customers. They're not happy customers. They're looking for a better option already. They're looking for the alternative, which is RippleNet and XRP. Nobody wants to sit around all weekend long. If they send money on a Friday, they don't want to sit there all weekend wondering if that money is going to show up on the other end come Monday morning, or even on a Tuesday if it's a holiday weekend. People are done with that. They want instant gratification. That's how Ripple will replace Swift. Dom Kwok defends $1,000 per XRP call, argues $100 trillion market cap is possible. So he also compares Bitcoin's $1 trillion valuation to Walmart, questioning revenue versus market cap logic. You know why Bitcoin's market cap is where it's at today? It's because of the marketing team behind Bitcoin, all over the mainstream media news, pushing the Bitcoin narrative. Bitcoin runs on a belief system. Once the belief system dies, Bitcoin dies with it. XRP supporters say cross-border payment utility and network effects could justify long-term higher valuations. Critics call $1,000 per XRP unrealistic due to $60 trillion to $100 trillion market cap. But Kwok says 700x moves are normal in crypto, and he's not wrong. It's because market cap doesn't matter when it comes to crypto. Supply and demand is way bigger than market cap, and actual utility and use case matters more than market cap. $100 billion wisdom tree says XRP could reach max circulating supply in 3 to 5 years. Bitcoin takes until 2140. Now, when it comes to max circulating supply for XRP, they're talking about that Ripple escrow. Just wait until everyone realizes that escrow is already spoken for. Wait until that escrow gets shifted to the IMF, the World Bank, the BIS, the ECB, the Fed, other central banks. We don't know how much of that escrow actually belongs to Ripple. I think we will all find out, though, soon enough. The governments once made owning gold illegal. You need to keep this in the back of your mind. What he's insinuating is that the government could make XRP ownership by retail investors illegal. And this is also a narrative that circulated around the XRP community for years. I don't think the government is going to make it illegal for you to own XRP. That goes down the lines of you'll never get rich as an XRP investor. They're never going to let you get rich, but it was okay for Bitcoin holders to get rich over time. It's always narrative after narrative when it comes to XRP. And then they'll go on to cite that you're not allowed to own something that's part of the new financial system. You're not allowed to own something that can be looked at as a world's bridge currency. Listen, a lot of people are going to get rich off of XRP, but only 1% maybe makes it until you get wealthy. There's a big difference between being rich and being wealthy. Look at it like this. Famous athletes, they're rich, but the team owners, they're wealthy. That's what you want to achieve as an XRP holder. You want to make it until XRP reaches 5 digits. You want to make it till you get to generational wealth. American investing firm discusses where XRP could be in 5 years. And this American investing firm is the Motley Fool. And take notice, they always try to point out how XRP is never going to reach these price points. What I like is the very first argument. Motley Fool argued that XRP may struggle to keep up with the crypto market over the next 5 years due to a disconnect between Ripple's growth and the token's value. You know why there's a disconnect there? Because Ripple is still building utility for XRP. Eventually, all of that value is going to show up in the price of XRP. I cannot wait until the Motley Fool stops writing articles about XRP once it starts to go parabolic. All of a sudden, any article they write, they're going to be telling you that they were wrong all along when it comes to XRP. Justin, SEC says certain crypto interfaces, including DeFi, front ends, wallet extensions, and apps may operate without broker-dealer registration under conditions. Wow, it's been a long day. So in other words, what the SEC did is they took away everything that Gary Gensler was doing in the past. Remember, everything was about being a broker-dealer under Gary Gensler. No custody of user funds, self-custodial only. No investment advice or recommendations. No order routing or execution. Fixed neutral fee structure only. No discretion over transactions or market activity. What they just did was greenlight a bunch of new companies to go live without a broker-dealer registration first. And I want to see where that goes from here. Crypto dad Chris Giancarlo leaves law firm to go all in on crypto and AI. Giancarlo, widely known across crypto as Crypto Dad, says he's retiring from practicing law at the end of April to focus on strategic advisory work, private investing, crypto policy research, and writing philanthropy initiatives tied to the space. There has never been a more promising time in America than now, he says. I think anybody that gets into this space before the institutions, they're going to make a hell of a lot of money. I also think that anybody investing in this space now has no idea how big this is going to be by the end of 2026. You see everybody getting involved now. You see the institutions positioning themselves now. The whales are on a nonstop buying spree when it comes to XRP. What we see next is not just going to be exciting. It is going to be absolutely euphoric for XRP holders. Banks charge you ATM fees, account fees, inactivity fees, overdraft fees, maintenance fees, account closure fees, paper statement fees, minimum balance fees, all while your checking account earns 0.01%. It's time to change how banking works. And remember, they're capitalizing on all of these fees while they're keeping you from getting this. Yield-bearing stablecoins equals huge win for retail investors. Earn 3 to 8% plus APY on your cash versus pennies from bank savings. 24/7 global access, instant transfers, DeFi, composability forces banks to compete with better rates and services. Banks are exposing their real fear with clarity. Regular people getting what they deserve. It's people that know what a stable coin is. That's who's going to make money off of stable coins. Yet the banks want to keep everybody from earning off of stable coins because they will be forced to compete with stable coins, and they don't like the idea of that. But, you know, the banks, they could offer crypto options. I'm sure they would sign up a lot of new customers if they offered crypto options. But they're still stuck in a time where, oh, we don't want to get involved with crypto. It's way too volatile. It's like, do they not see what's going on all around the world? Crypto isn't going anywhere. It is absolutely the future. And I don't know what all of you think about this. Trump just posted himself as Jesus Christ on Truth Social. I don't know what to make of this. I know it pissed off a hell of a lot of people. He went on to say this. Take a listen.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
So I don't know. He doesn't look like a doctor in this picture. He looks more like Jesus Christ. And now even some of his biggest supporters are wondering if he's the Antichrist. Me personally, I don't think Trump is the Antichrist. However, I do believe he is ushering in the Great Reset. I mean, if you look at everything that's going on right now, this all leads into the Great Reset and the surveillance system. Take a listen to this clip right here.
Now you're giving me goosebumps because, listen, I know for a damn fact, my brother and I have done so much research into this, that this baby, this XRP, this RippleNet infrastructure was engineered by the very same people who are behind today's financial system.
It's a small autonomous team within a larger organization tasked with developing advanced, innovative, or secret projects while bypassing normal bureaucratic procedures. So what they're suggesting here, XRP, a skunkwork within BlackRock. At least that's what Jim Willey is suggesting.
And it means that they needed and wanted and designed a bridge.
But I think it's more about getting the entire population into a digital control grid. This is something Catherine Austin Fitts talks a lot about. They impoverish an entire class of people through monetary policy, hence the central banking model, unconstitutional, unpatriotic.
And he's not wrong. What's going on right now is you have people begging for universal basic income now. All over X, every single day, I see people doing it. And they're blaming AI. But what it comes down to is this. Inflation is not slowing down. Inflation keeps rising. People are trying to make ends meet. They're trying to keep up with their mortgage, their car payment. food, groceries, basic necessities. And meanwhile, in the background, a whole new financial system is still building out. Even the fact that they didn't fully eliminate a central bank digital currency forever here in the United States tells you that we're headed towards one after 2030 now. And a stable coin is no different than a central bank digital currency. So I think what the president is actually doing is he's going along with the same playbook that we were following back before 2020. Remember, back then they were still talking about the digital dollar back then. There was even a lot of connections between Ripple and the president back when Trump was the president the last time around. They even wanted to pay stimulus out in digital money back then. So what would make you think the game plan changed in 2026? I honestly don't think it has. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.